Right, so the first map is Neo Planet for the first of our encounter of 5 games. And it's a Terran versus Terran. PiPPiN, who has had recent experience over 1v1 commentary. But Alvin, what type of start do you think PiPPiN's going to maybe try for you?
PLuTo, what I'm pretty much looking forward to for this specific game is just to see if PiPPiN has actually taken any of that strategies that he was exposed against in the game versus you. You know, if he's actually going to take any of that on board. I think what we are going to see, as you rightly said, you know, we are going to see some drops, you know, some early drops ahead. You know, Terran versus Terran is always an interesting matchup. And what I would ideally like to see is I would like to see some early Banshee play. You know, I think there's enough space, especially if you can, you know, maybe build like a starport there. You know, starport just to harass early. You can always move that back to your base a bit later. But if we can see some early harass with some Banshees, cloaked Banshees, that I think will definitely put Muradin on the back foot.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely early pressure early on does put the player into a stress mode where he does panic a bit. We'll also have to see how it goes. But at the bottom left of your screen we have Muradin, the orange Terran player, and in your top right we have PiPPiN, the green Terran player. So it's basically a standard opening. I see them both trying to wall, which I have seen can be a problem with Terran v Terran. If you try and wall too much, destroying most of your supply depots could be a problem unless you have siege tanks. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, we already see Muradin placing down his first gas, so we're going to have to see, you know, what the build is from here onwards. You know, is he going to go for that early Banshee harass, or is it actually going to be a Reaper opening? We'll just have to wait and see. As we can see, PiPPiN making exactly the same mistakes, you know, as he did with the games against you, where he actually is just concerned about walling off that ramp as quickly as possible, just trying to hide all of his tech. But when we look at Muradin's opening, you know, he's not afraid at all. You know, he's like saying, you know, come on PiPPiN, you know, feel free, scout my base. I'm going to beat you in anyway. You know, I'm going to get a lot of gas. I'm going to get some early tech out, and you know, just keep on harassing you and try to take this first game off you.
Yeah, yes, I agree. I think if you want to wall up quickly, you must be trying some sort of sneak attack, like first go for a gas, and you're going for a Reaper harass, or you're going double gas, something like that, where you don't have to rush for a wall straight away. That extra minerals can be on SCVs and things like that. But I do see PiPPiN here going for 2 barracks, maybe an early push. Paul has decided to go with a Reaper. He's only got 1 gas though. So maybe it's only for a scout, I would say.
I think I agree, you know, I think that Reaper is only for the scouts. If you look at his gas that Muradin is currently mining, he's only got 1 worker on that gas. I think 2 would have been better, you know, just to make sure that in case you want to switch tech builds right in the middle, you know, that you would be able to have enough gas to maybe switch to, you know, a couple of Marauders extra. But yeah, interesting, we're seeing Muradin actually put down that expansion, you know, right there without putting it in his base and actually flying it over. He's also adding another racks to his build, which is great, you know. Very weird build from PiPPiN though. You know, we see 2 racks. One would normally expect 3 racks, but he's already got those 2 Marines standing out on the cliff overlooking.
Yeah, I think he's expecting some sort of Reaper.
Here it comes. So he is expecting it, but his Marines are way too. They're not even close. Got the 3 Marines out. That Reaper.
Yeah, maybe he'll be able to get 2 or 3 kills. It would be nice if you can try and spot to kill that mule. But I see it's mainly just a scout. I don't see another Reaper coming, so that could just be a scout. But I did see that Muradin did pylon block supply block himself for some time. But I wonder if this 1 SCV on gas is maybe a mistake. There we go, and we see 2 at the moment. I think that 1 SCV on that refinery was a bit of a mistake from his side. Although he is going marine heavy, so maybe it was a ploy to get extra minerals faster. But we do see both orbital commands are up. Expansion is down. We might be seeing some sort of mine drop here from PiPPiN, I would say. Factory, starport, couple of marines for defense. Could be a mine. Yep, then here come the mines.
Here comes the mine, and we can see the starport also being constructed at the moment. As well as the engineering base, so getting that +1 upgrades quickly, you know, after that first harass, which is always a good idea. And if we actually look at the view of Muradin, we can actually see that the only things that he saw was those 2 racks and then that factory going down. He has no idea that there's starports being built at the moment, and also not of the engineering bay. But when we actually have a look at PiPPiN's play, he hasn't scouted at all.
He hasn't, and that is a big problem, man. He's had it in the past as well, with not being able to scout enough. He needs, but I think that drop could help him a bit with the scouting, to be able to see what he is doing. But he is unaware if he has turrets.
That's quite an expensive scout, you know. I mean, he's already built a bunker right in front of his base, you know, standard, you know, placement, you know, just to make sure that it covers that whole ramp. And the one thing that Muradin actually doesn't have, you know, he's got no defenses in his base. He's pumping out quite a few Marines at the moment, but in general, you know, he is pretty open. You know, he's got 3 Marines that he can move around, 4 in the bunker, and we'll just have to see. He's mining like a boss.
Yeah, he has got an income of 1,000 at the moment compared to 480, which is quite a bit, and that's definitely that early expansion that he has took. I think PiPPiN is a bit behind now. It will be dependent on what this early attack move can do. Muradin does have 2 scans, so unless he uses them for mules, he should be able to see this. I do see there is only 1 mine. I don't know why he didn't take 2. Maybe use it as defense. But
if you actually look at the army supply as well, PiPPiN is leading that, you know, 20 to 17. But he is currently half the worker supply of what Muradin is, and Muradin saw that drop.
Oh, there we go, and he's going. Oh, he's got a turret.
Oh, and he is.
Oh, and he's going to lose it yet, and he has lost it, getting 1 marine out.
That is a very expensive scout. PLuTo, as we said, you know, that scout is so crucial right in the beginning. He's got an orbital command. 50 energy just reached for that scan. Maybe he should have just waited and just see, you know, if there's anything there. He would have spotted that turret, but that actually brings up the losses tab to 650 for PiPPiN. That was a very expensive medivac there.
Yes, I agree. It was very expensive, and now he is definitely quite behind in the game. Not having that early expansion, going for a lot of units. I do see the command center has been built, so he is going to lift. If I was him at the moment, I would get some siege tanks on the high ground there and double expand. I think taking both expansions now is very crucial. 1 planetary on the left hand side, top left, and try and defend this one at the bottom. He needs to do something to get his income at the moment. And Muradin is pylon supply blocks, but he is going for a starport. Double factory. What do you think he's going to be doing for double factory? Some Thors or siege tanks?
Double factory, my guess is he's going tanks. You know, as we know, you know, Muradin is a player that loves his tanks. You know, he's actually known, you know, to actually bring the pain as well. So yeah, my guess would be, you know, he's actually just placed the tech labs on as well. That just tells me it's definitely factory siege tanks coming, and I think with his current marine army, you know, that's a lot of DPS right there. No upgrades yet in terms of armor. He's got the +1 weapons upgrade, which is going to increase that APM.
The armor is being upgraded at the moment, same as the attack for PiPPiN is also being upgraded. So with upgrades, Muradin is slightly ahead. He has got combat shield, where PiPPiN hasn't upgraded it yet. He is upgrading stim.
That stim upgrade is very late, you know. It's going for 12 minutes, and stim only being upgraded now. But if we actually look at Muradin's play, you know, Muradin hasn't upgraded stim at all. So I know he has.
He has. He's got it.
I apologize for that. And we can actually see that is the tanks, you know. So he's definitely going a tank build as well. He's getting his medivacs out at the moment, and I would say that by the looks of things, Muradin is going to be close to moving out completely within probably the 13-minute mark. Sending out some scouts around the north just to have a look what he's got, what he's facing, scanning his opponent's base, seeing those couple of Marines marauders, but he's actually missing the mine. So
he has missed it. He hasn't scanned it. But will that mine be able to do enough damage? I would like to see one of the players get a couple of medivacs over here. I do see PiPPiN getting 1 medivac, because I think 2 or 3 medivacs must be the difference in this battle. I do see Carl has 2. They are stuck back at base. Whether or not he's going to see them and bring them to the battle, but that siege tank is going to be a real difference. Not only has he got their siege tank, but his army pretty much is in the lead at the moment. Looking at units, 33 Marines to 13 and 4 Marauders apiece, plus 2 siege tanks. This looks like Muradin is going to take this one. Upgrades are better, more units. The siege tank is not going to do too much there.
These Marines are actually moving in now, and the tank should be sieging up any minute now. Oh, there we go, the medevac.
PiPPiN does see him at the bottom there. He is in his range. Whether he's going to do something. If I was him, I should pull that siege tank a bit closer. And this does not look good for PiPPiN at all. And here it comes in and goes in the first battle.
Oh, he doesn't get anything with the mine. But the tank on the high ground is definitely going to do some damage.
Definitely a difference. Oh, and that looks like it's going to be the game.
Oh, that is just looking so bad for PiPPiN at the moment. He needs to lift that orbital command, actually move it back. He's got one Marauder coming out, but that Marauder is not going to do a lot of damage.
Not going to do anything. And the expansion goes down.
And that does not look very good. He's loading up those.
And he's going to try and drop the mineral line.
And no, he's actually going to drop it at
drop
the
on the siege tank.
That is fantastic. That is and
great
I'm
play
afraid
from Muradin there.
That is pretty much GG. There's not a lot that PiPPiN can do from here.
Not much at all. And there is the GG, and it's game over, and it's 1-0 to Muradin at that moment. Well, I must say it was pretty much a one-man game that Muradin had it from the start. That drop wasn't a great drop. There wasn't enough scouting from PiPPiN at all. He didn't know what Carl was doing, what Muradin was doing. He knew the fast expansion, but he didn't expand early. He should have double expanded himself.